Hey there, y'all, and welcome back to Get Going Fast, the place where we get into this excellent hobby of AI and hopefully sort of a quick and efficient manner in which you actually might learn something along the way. So this has been the last several week for TTS. That means text to speech. And we have seen so much stuff coming out. And again, I think that what happens is that these things, they go in cycles. Obviously, image generation, video generation is really high on the priority list. And so these companies spend a lot of time smacking these things out. And then they kind of reach a plateau and they say, okay, now it's time to move to the next thing. And it's kind of nice. It's all kind of competition driven. You know, one company's coming out with this. And beautiful thing about competition, right, is it actually drives the product up. And so anyway, it cycles around, comes to the text to speech stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like it's feast or famine, yo. So you go like a month or two with no real text to speech stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just like plat, here it is all at once. And so we've been going through a lot of that. So the latest one, I haven't played with it yet, so this is actually kind of exciting for you. On this video, we're going to actually do a complete holistic install of this together, okay? So like starting from scratch. And it is the new product called Orpheus. And so I have not played with it. I've heard it's very good. I've been having great luck with Zonos and Kokoro. Unfortunately, Zonos is not commercial. It does not have a commercial license. It is not an open source license. So that means that effectively you can play with it. You're not supposed to use it for anything. So Zonos is great, but then it's not, you can't, you know, Kokoro is awesome, just fantastic, but you can't have the ability to clone voices. Still really like F5. F5 is just, in overall, what you can do with it is superior. Okay, especially with the plus version we made over at Get Going Fast. Download your YouTube videos, you got your podcast making, you've got selection of pre-made voices, plus you can clone in there. It's awesome, but the quality isn't as good as Zonos and Kokoro. So we're going to try this Orpheus one. We're going to get into that here. And I will say that I tried to install a normal web UI with this. That did not work because really this is built for Linux, okay? So that has been a bit of a trouble. And I really don't want to walk you guys through another Windows for Subsystem, a WSL thing, because that really is sort of a painful thing. But if you really want to ask me, because I'm here for you. Okay, but we're going to go through kind of a backdoor way of using this by downloading another app, which is going to allow us to use this app. Not something I would normally do, but for you, the world. Okay, so let's do this together. But before we do, I want to thank you so much for liking the channel, sharing the video with people, telling people about Get Going Fast, calling up your doctor late at night, and the doctor's like, is everything okay? And you're like, well, I got a fever. And he's like, what? What's up with the fever? He goes, I got a fever for Get Going Fast and AI, and I got to get going. And I'm sure that he'll appreciate that. Doctors have a good sense of humor when it comes to that sort of thing. So thank you very much for doing that. I certainly do appreciate that. In the meanwhile, we are going to move on with this. Thanks for liking our Instagram and finding us over on the X, coming over to Reddit, where we're going to be like the one person out of a million that treats you nice over there, okay? And come on over to Discord. Hang out with us over there. Show us the safe for work stuff you're working on. We would love to see it, okay? So let's get on with Orpheus and doing this from scratch. I mean, guys, I'm doing this from scratch. There is no setup here. We're in this together. Let's get on with it, yo. All right, so the first thing that we are going to be doing is clicking on over to the browser, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to be looking for, effectively, this is Orpheus TTS local. But here's how we're going to find it. We're going to go over here and we are going to type Orpheus, but we're going to add TTS to it because if you don't, you'll get some other app that will confuse you. And then we'll type GitHub just to make sure it knows where we're going. So we're going to find this one, this Canopy AI. I'm like, what is that? Canopy AI? Oh, Canopy AI. All right. We're going to click on that one, and she's going to bring us into here. Okay, and this is your basic one. We can notice in here they've got things that you can giggle and laugh. Let's listen to the demo here for a second. Oh, I guess that's not working.
To Zach. He seems to be asleep.
Hey, there we go.
Hey there, guys. It's Tara here, and let me introduce you to Zach, who seems to be asleep. Zach, it's time to wakey wakey.
Ugh, I was having such a great dream. Why are you bothering me? What time is it anyway?
Classic Zach, always. So groggy.
All right, so you get the idea there. So we're going to be able to put laugh stuff in there, do this or that. Evidently, we got two different voices, so we're going to play with this, okay? Let's scroll down, and we're just going to kind of pass this. Notice they've got collab set up. If you know how to use collab, well, I guess you in business. Go ahead and collab it up. Let us know how that works. Okay, here's your basic installation, though, and I have been playing with this and not able to get it. You'll notice here, if you do want to try this, you got to get, they just have the get clone. They don't mention, again, the, you know better than this. You got to have a virtual environment. You got to install your NVIDIA, you know, your CUDA toolkit, and you're not even your CUDA toolkit. Well, yeah, you got to get your CUDA toolkit. You got to get all that stuff, your torch. And so it doesn't mention any of that stuff here. I will say that this is for, it's set up for Linux. And like I said, I have tried to work with this to get it to work on Windows. I have not had success yet. Okay. And then as this goes, though, you're going to notice all it does is it gives you code. So there actually is no web UI here. That's actually why I wasn't able to get this to work, because I was trying to create a web UI for y'all. But you would install this and you'd run this code. Okay, so you'd make sure you got the models. You'd say what you want it to say. You'd have to do this all in text, in code, changing your py file. So we're going to kind of say no to that. I'm going to be a no dog on that one. And we're going to go down here where it says also checkout. Okay, now notice it's got 4 different ways for us to look at. So we got this, a lightweight client for running Orpheus TTS locally using LLM Studio API. So that's what we're going to use, okay? Again, I don't know if it's going to work. I haven't done this at all. I haven't done this version at all, so we're doing this together. OpenAI compatible fast API implementation. So that's cool. It's going through Chat GPT, basically. But that's going to be your paid way. So you're going to have to pay for API access. Hugging Space, kindly set up by Mohammed Rashad. So actually, we'll take a look at this one. I'm going to right click on that, open that link in another tab. So that's basically like someone set it up. You can play with it online, but you have to wait for the GPU to be able to done. And then the Gradio web UI that runs smoothly on WSL. And it says and CUDA, which is kind of confusing because it makes it sound like it works on both. It means it works smoothly on WSL with CUDA. Okay, so again, yeah, you know, whatever. We could go try to make this. I tried to translate this one into a Windows app too. She didn't work. Okay, kind of like my 2 marriages before this. So we're just going to pass on to that and move on to the next one. But really quick, let's go check out this Hugging Face space. So check it out. Up here we got this going, so we can type something in here. Say, my name is Gary. And let's put in there laugh, chuckle, sigh. Listen, dude, that's, you know, if there was any emotion that gets my heart, it's laugh, chuckle, sigh. My name is Gary. Welcome to Get Going Fast. Sniffle. So happy to see you. All right, and let's see how Endig does it in his voice. Now, it says here, over here in the directions, that you should be able to clone it. It mentions cloning. 0-shot voice cloning, okay, which would be awesome. But you're going to notice, there's nothing here about voice cloning. So my guess is they haven't fixed it. So that means we're stuck with these voices, which kind of tend to be a little bit weaker voices than I like. Like, hi, this is Leo, you know, that kind of thing. Or anyway, let's go ahead and click this generate speech and let's see what it does. So you'll click up here and it's going to process. That's actually going pretty fast. But again, you get 1 million people hitting on this Hugging Face. This guy who set this up is paying for this. So he's paying for your ability to play with it. So this guy, Mohammed Rashad, thank you so very much. Well, let's see how this works.
My name is Gary. Sigh. Welcome to Get Going Fast. So happy to see you.
So, okay, so evidently this does it only one of these things at a time. So we have that laugh, chuckle, sigh in there, but didn't quite get them all. So let's see what just a chuckle is. And we'll go ahead and press play on that.
My name is Gary. Welcome to Get Going Fast. So happy to see you.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I guess that was maybe with the sigh. Let's click another one. Sounds like the laugh was huh, huh, and the chuckle is more of a huh. So it seems that that's kind of the difference there. We'll wait here. Go back to talking up this guy again. Okay, here, let's see.
My name is Gary. Welcome to Get Going Fast.
My name is Gary. Welcome to Get Going Fast. That's too funny. That's the way to pick up a chick. Go up to her in a bar. Be like, my name is Gary. Go buy a drink. Oh, that's too funny. So we've got and but let's go over here. Let's see what a groan does. I feel like putting multiple ones of these in here is kind of messed it up. So let's click on to that and wait one more time for that to load. My name is Gary. All right, I'm having too much fun with this. So let's see what this one does.
My name is Gary. Oh, welcome to Get Going Fast.
Oh,
so happy to...
That's what the girl's going to say when you say, my name's Gary. She's going to be like, oh. So anyway, so there you have it. We'll play around with this. You can see there's not a ton here, but it's got some promise. It would really be good if it had voice cloning. But we'll throw in some more language. We'll see if we can get longer sentences here later after we get this going. But let's crack on over and get this thing installed. So click in here. We'll go back to where we was, and remember we were here in the also checkout stage here, okay? And we had this one, the lightweight client for running Orpheus TTS locally using LLM Studio. So we're going to click like that, okay? And she brings us over to here, Orpheus TTS local. Okay. Now, as we scroll down, you're going to see it says quick setup, okay? So now, it says we got to install LM Studio. So that, LM stands for language model. So it's going to actually be a Windows app that we need to install. I like doing the open source stuff because we don't actually really ever installing anything. For this project, we're going to go ahead and install LM Studio. So let's go ahead and go over here and just type LM Studio download. Whoops, look at that, it added a folder to it. So let's just do that. Okay, so we're going to download this for, it says here, this Mac, Linux, Windows. So let's click on that. Download LM Studio. All right, so we already picked up what we got here, so I'm just going to click it again, and it will bring up your save place. Now, here's a little thing. While this is downloading, some of the things I have talked with y'all about here, let me click over here to the desktop screen. This is just a little side note here. A lot of y'all download, it goes directly to your downloads folder. I want to show you something. If you click here and go to your settings, okay, you can click here and then type downloads. And notice it's going to bring up a few different things here. So your downloads locations. And look at this. It says ask where to save each file before loading. I would click that if I were you. and I always suggest people do, because then you can really control where stuff's going, okay? Because it's just by default just goes to your downloads folder, which could be fine, but when you're actually trying to do stuff up, it can cause a little bit more of a headache, because then you got to copy stuff, paste it over to here, do to there, and it's like, and anyway, you don't want to be installing stuff into your desktop. So, oh, let me fix this really quick. All right, so let's, we've downloaded this, so let's click it. We're going to have to install it. So installation isn't a big deal, but whatever. So I'm just going to put it only for me. Click next. Now notice it wants you to put you in a folder, and notice it's putting all the way the heck down here under users, the name, you know, that's my thing, app data, local. What a scuzzy place to put it. I don't want to put it there. Also, no space required 1.4. It's going to eat up my my C drive. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put this under D, and then I put it under LLMs. I think I already have a folder here called. So I'm going to go here, D, LLMs, and then I'm just going to add on here, I'm going to say LM Studio, because I don't want it digging way down into deep places. You honestly don't typically want to install stuff into your settings folders, because later on when you're trying to use it, it can cause problems in your code. The special coding, or there's spaces, it's typically best to install, if you can. Some stuff has to be installed there, but it's best to install it closer to your root drive. Okay, so this has completed. So that was easy peasy. Let's click back over to our instructions here. And it says download the Orpheus TTS model. Okay, so this it's using a quant 4, so you should be fine. Oh, and that's only 3 billion. You'll notice 3 billion. This will run on your machines, even if you've only got 8 gigabytes, or 8 gigabytes of VRAM or something like that. A 3 billion parameter large language model is very small. And then they quanted it. They've cut off the decimals. If you remember me talking before, quantization means cutting decimals off, taking away some precision. So it's the same thing, smaller number. Okay, so we're going to pop over here. It says to download this in LLM Studio. Okay, so actually, I think what we might need to do, remember, we're doing this the first time. I'm going to highlight this and copy this, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run LM Studio, because I know that LM Studio, you can load models directly from it. Now, I usually use Cobalt CPP, and I download my own models, and I do my thing. I think this is really designed for people that just want to get base models. See, I like using stuff off Hugging Face because you can get uncensored, unbiased models. Okay, so this one is offering us to download DeepSeek. We're going to go ahead and skip the onboarding, because we just want to get to business. So let's see how we do this. Let's click this Discover button. Model search. Let's type some stuff that I know exists. Well, let's type Quinn. All right, so there's finding Quinn. And this one was called Orpheus. Well, let's just type Orpheus in and see what it finds. There it is. Okay, so this, let's move this up to here. Well, we'll do this. All right, so this is saying Orpheus 3B here. Oh, there it is right there. So I don't know why I didn't find it when I typed it in there. Let's make sure that this is a GGOF model. Oh, there it says it is. Okay, so there it is. Let's download it. So notice it says 2.36 gigabytes. So we'll let that do its thing. Now it says, once you do it, load the Orpheus model in LM Studio. Start the local server in LM Studio. Okay, so we'll have to figure out that. Install our dependencies, run the script. Okay, so we're still going to have to download all of this. Okay, Well, let's go ahead and we'll let this finish out, and then I'm not sure if it's telling us that we need to load this off of here or not. So I cheated. I paused the video for a second. We're going to go over here, and there's this button that says developer. I'm going to click this, and it's going to bring up this screen, okay? Now you'll see that it says server stopped. Let's just click that. Aha! Yo! So now we have a server. So what exactly is a server and how does it work? Okay, so a server, of course, serves something, all right? It serves files, it serves data, whatever. So what we're going to do is use what's called an API. We're going to use that number, that server address, okay? And we're going to send information to it, and it's going to send information back. So it's like a pipeline into this app, because we ran this app. Here's the app, okay? And we ran it, and it's running. It's a Windows thing. It's running. Okay, and normally how are we going to get into it? It's like it's a little box and no way to get into it. But they put a little outlet here, and this is our API. And so we're going to access it. We're going to use that numbers that we just got, and we're going to go through a cable, get into the app, and then it's going to pipe it back out to us. So that's essentially what we did. We just set up a server, okay? And that's effectively what we do when we're running our when we create our apps in Python, or install our AI stuff, and it opens up in the terminal. That's just a server, and then it serves out to our browser and back and forth. So, okay, anyway, that's how we've got this up. We have downloaded the video. We have downloaded the video. We downloaded the model. We've loaded it up, and we have it running. So let's go back over here now to our next directions. It says we need to install our dependencies. Okay, so it's going to be talking about this code here. So we're going to have to git clone this. We're going to have to create a virtual environment for it. I guess we're going to have to install CUDA and all that stuff. Let's look inside the requirements.txt real quick. Okay, so yeah, notice it says that it's got Torch here, but it doesn't have Torch with CUDA. So if you're running AMD or you're doing this on a Macintosh or something like that, then you can just do this as is. But since we NVIDIA folk have certain needs, we're going to have to follow those needs. So let's go ahead and copy this. Now I'm just going to do this a little easier way than normal. Let's go to our File Explorer. Usually I do this through the terminal. Let's just do it right now through this. And I'm going to put it... I'll put it in this LLM Studio, I guess. Although I usually like to put it in like an audio folder. Maybe we'll put it in here. Oh, look, I've already got an Orpheus. Let's go ahead and delete that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is just go up here, and I'm going to type git clone, and I'm going to hit Control V. So it's going to git clone this repository. It's going to create a folder called Orpheus TTS local. Okay? So that pops up. There it is. So there's our requirements, all the good stuff. So now we need to go ahead and create our virtual environment. I guess let's just go ahead and create a Python one. That's the easiest way, just because it'll do it locally. With the Conda one, you can force different versions of stuff in there, but I don't think we'll need to worry. So I'm going to right click, go to show more options, and I'm going to go open terminal as administrator. Okay, now this is a script that I wrote that adds that to our Windows shell so that I can do this. Otherwise, you're going to have to go to your here, and then you're going to have to do this and go CD, audio, CD, whatever. Okay, you're going to have to do it manually. I believe that I have this little script over on the blog. If you go to cognibuild.ai and then click on the blog, I believe over here. Yep, there you go. Command prompt with admin rights from File Explorer. So you can follow that if you want to get the same functionality of just being able to right click and then open up a terminal window there. So anyway, we got this up here. So we're going to need to install dependencies. So we need to create a virtual environment. We're going to do a Python virtual environment. So we're going to type Python -m, so Python is our interpreter. We're saying that we want to run an aspect of Python as its own app. And what is the name of that app? Well, we want to use the venv app. Now after here, it's going to name our virtual environment. We could call it Fred if we wanted, or my very most special virtual environment that I love. Okay, and that it would name it that. But then you would have to write that every time. So what we do is we just call it venv. Okay, so we're going to say create a virtual environment called virtual environment. It's effectively what we're doing. So we'll hit enter. It's going to make it. Now notice if we go back to our file explorer, it created a folder over here. And if you go in here, you can see the files and there's scripts, and then activate is what we use to activate that. So we're going to go and activate the virtual environment now by typing call venv /scripts. You can tell it's a backslash because the top of it is leaning backwards. Okay, and that's important in Windows because Windows does its folders with backslashes. Linux uses forward slashes. So we're going to say go into the vim folder, then go into the scripts folder, and then run this app that's called activate. See right there. So we're going to hit that, and then notice, hey, it did it. We're now in our virtual environment. Good job. Welcome home. It's good to have you. So now what we're going to do is we need to install Conda. So if you type nvcc.version, you'll see which one you've got. I've got CUDA 12.8, but I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to use 12.6 because it's just easier to use the torch with that. So 12.8 is our big CUDA. That's like the factory. When we're installing the CUDA toolkit, we're installing like a road to the factory. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to use the 12.6 road. I'm going to type conda install CUDA toolkit 12, and you're going to find this one here. And I'm just going to scroll down here to 12.6.3. Okay, so in other words, the 12.8 big CUDA is backwards compatible. So we're in our virtual environment. We're just going to paste that in there. So it's going to conda install the CUDA toolkit. Again, not the big CUDA, the little CUDA, the road, and the 12.6.3 version. Okay, so that's going to do that. While that's loading up, let's pop on over to here, and let's just type torch install. And notice it's going to bring up this one by PyTorch. Okay, we'll go back here, press yes. Okay, so this is why we chose the 12.6 instead of the 12.8, is officially there's only 12.6 installations available. We can install Torch 12.8, but it's a little bit more involved. So we're going to leave this because we can type this in by hand. What we want is this command here. So now let's go back over here. We're going to copy that, and we'll just type by hand pip install torch. Okay, but then we're going to get some parameters. That's what we copied. We're going to say install torch, but install it from this location. So we will let that do its thing. And it didn't like that. Now, typing extensions. So let's do this. Let's try this. Let's type Python-m. So we're going to say I want to use the Python that's inside this virtual environment. It's basically what I'm saying. I'm going to say pip install pip upgrade. I'm going to upgrade pip and see if this will fix it. Sometimes these errors will do that. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go pip install. Well, let's do the same thing. Python-m pip install setup tools. These are all little tips you can do. Okay, now let's try that torch install again. I'm holding my breath here. So that's actually looks like it's gotten further than it did before. Yeah, because here it got down to the dependencies. So that's good. I always hate it when stuff like that happens during a video because it's kind of embarrassing, but it shows actually how you can troubleshoot these things. So added bonus, yo. if you have these problems, python-m pip install pip -- upgrade, yo, and then do the same thing for setup tools. So we'll let this work on its thing. Let's meanwhile look at our instructions over here. So once that's installed, we're going to need to install the requirements, okay, and then we'll be ready to run this script up here. So while this is loading, we need to go over to our files that we downloaded, and here's the requirements. Let's click on this. It's going to open up this window. Now notice it's installing Torch in the requirements. Okay, we want to delete that, because if we don't delete that, it will uninstall what we just did and then put the crappy version of Torch that we don't want. Okay, see, this was the version without CUDA. So we're going to just delete it. We'll hit Control S or go to File and Save, okay? And then we're done with it. So let's close that out. Notice this fixed it by upgrading our pip, upgrading our setup tools. It fixed everything for us. Now we can go ahead and go pip install -r. So we're using the Python package installer. We're telling it to install. We're using this -r, which means we want it to install from a file, okay? So like normally if you could go like this, you'd say pip install Torch, and it would go out and find it. But we're saying don't go out and find it. Look for a file that's in the same folder called requirements.txt. You can see we're here in the Orpheus TTS local, which is the same that we're in here, Orpheus TTS local. And there's a requirement. So read that and install everything that's in that file. So now she's going to rip through there. Rip snort. Okay, while that's doing it, let's go ahead and create a bat file for this thing so that we can run it. If we go over here, you're going to see that it's going to want us to run this Python thing here. So what we could do is, let's do this really quick. Let's go right click, new text document, and let's just say run Orpheus. Now this is going to be a little bit weird because again, this doesn't have a web UI. So I didn't realize that we're going to have to write everything by hand, which is kind of stinktastic, but whatever. What we're going to do is we'll create this .bat file. So let's right click on it, say edit in Notepad. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do a few things here so that we don't have to go in here and activate our virtual environment by hand every time. So first we're going to go CD, means change directory. We're going to put a /D, and then we're going to put these funny symbols. We're going to put the percentage sign, this tilde sign, and then we're going to put DP0. What that's going to do is it's going to say change the directory to the same directory that this script is running in. The reason is if you try to run a file in administrator mode, it automatically goes to your system32 folder. So by putting this in here, it's going to stay in the folder we want it to be in, whether you click on it or run it as admin. Now what we're going to do is we want it to change directory into this directory here. So let's copy the name of that. We're going to go CD Orpheus TTS local. So now it will change into that directory. Then we're going to go ahead and activate our virtual environment. Let's call vin scripts activate. Okay, that will be activated. Then we can go back here and get our command. So we're going to be running this file, but we're going to be passing it a parameter. Okay, so let's actually grab this one over here because this has an output as well. So then we'll go here, Python, your text here, and then now, unfortunately with this, you're going to have to type in whatever you want it to say. So my name is Gary and yours is not. Laugh. Okay. And then here's the different names you can use. So we'll use Zach for this one. Voice Zach. Now every time you run this, you're going to have to run this script or come in here and change it. I'm going to type the word echo and I'm going to say file completed. So that way we know it's done. And then I'm going to put a pause button so that it stays open. Okay, now let's say we go ahead and close this out. We got to make sure that our LLM Studio is running. So I had to, oops, LM Studio. I had to reset my machine, so let's make sure she's working. Here it is. Okay, it's already running. Okay. Now let's go back here and let's see what happens when we click that bat file. So there's something about it doesn't like. Let's go CD. So then by doing this in the terminal window, did I not save it? No, that's correct. That's weird. Okay. All right. So there you go. Said didn't generate. Now it completed, but then it didn't do its thing. So let's see. If we go in here, we'll see that it created an output wave, but nothing's there. So my bet is going to be that it didn't go to the right location. So let's open up our LM Studio. Notice this is going to 127.0.0.1.1.2.3.4. Let's copy that. Now let's go back over to here. This is the file that we're calling. So let's edit it. And it does have the right API. 1.2.3.4 version 1. Completions. Interesting. So let's try this. Let's go ping. See if it reaches it. Nope, couldn't find it. Maybe let's start and restart the server. Make sure that this might not be loaded as well, so let's load it. I hate when stuff like this happens. Oh, here we go. Okay. There it was. That was our problem. Our model wasn't loaded. This is going to be a fun video to edit, I'll tell you. So she's going, she's loading, she's almost there. I think I can. Okay. Now, let's go and run this file again. Go back here. There's our bat file. There we go. Now it's hitting there. I can hear my machine making noise. And doobity dop bop 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 bop. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. Well, actually, you know what? We'll let this run. So what we could do, because now the next time you want to run this silly thing, you've got to go into here and then you got to edit it and then you would change the text. So let's do something real simple. Let's take this. Let's go to ChatGPT. Oh, there it's done, by the way. Whoops. We'll go check that file in a second. Meanwhile, let's go to ChatGPT and let's say to it, this is a single line command that takes text input, a user name, a voice name, a voice model name, and sends it to the file mentioned as a parameter. Please create a Gradio web UI based around this. Okay, then we'll say also add the option to use the following model names. So then let's go back over to here. Let's grab these ones. Okay, And then let's lastly ask it, say, be sure to escape special characters when sent in as angle brackets are allowed. Okay, so let's go ahead, and that's going to give us some code. And meanwhile, let's go ahead and see how it did with creating our sound. So let's go output wave.
My name is Gary and yours is not.
So there you go. My name is Gary and yours is not.
My name is Gary and yours is not.
So there you go. Good. So that actually worked. All right. So now if we want to change it, we got to go back to here and we have to put everything into here. So let's try to get some longer text. Now the problem is going to be this all has to be on one line. So let's go Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And let's just see if we can find some text to paste in here. Okay, let's grab all of this. Okay, but now watch what we're going to have to do, though. We need to go over to ChatGPT, and we need to say, put this all on one line and either escape special characters or remove them. And what that means is that sometimes, like if there's parentheses in there, well, notice in the code, we use a parenthesis to open it up, and if it says it's using a quote, or not a parenthesis, it's using a quote to open it up, if it uses a quote in here, it closes it. So we have to press special things in there to make sure that it doesn't screw up our code. So let's go ahead and copy that. Now let's paste this into here. Okay. And let's go let's go ahead and run it. So it's passing all of that into there. It is using the CUDA, which is great. And so then we just got to wait for it. Okay, so there you go, file completed. Let's see how it turned out.
Many were increasingly of the opinion that they'd all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place, and some said that even the trees had been a bad move and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after...
So that's pretty good, except for that, notice, again, it only went for 14 seconds. So, I don't know. It just doesn't... Good app, good quality, but just not extremely usable at this point. So let's go ahead and do one last thing. Let's go back to our browser. Let's go over to the Hugging Face space. Let's see what happens if we throw all this into here. Let's see if it'll do more than 14 seconds or not. So it will take a little bit of time because it's using an online server, which means that you're in a queue, you're waiting for it. In fact, let's go back over here and do this. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and pause this while we wait. And let's see how much. It looks like it's still only grabbed 15 seconds.
Many were increasingly of the opinion that they all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for...
Okay, so it went a little bit longer. Let's try this max length. Let's push this all the way to the top. I don't think that's going to add more than a few seconds. But let's give that a go. Okay, now it's done. Looks like it did 24 seconds, so still.
Many were increasingly of the opinion that they all made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place. And some said that even the trees had been a bad move and that no one should ever have left the oceans. And then one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, one girl sitting on her own in a small cafe in Rickmansworth suddenly realized what it was that had.
Okay, so there you have. So that's, I mean, it's really good quality. It came out, it was well enunciated, all this good stuff. But notice it was only 24 seconds. So my take, so we've got this working. So my take on this app is really good, showing us what you can do. It's just not practical. It's not practical for me. So like, no web UI. So you could go create a web UI, obviously, get that API, throw it into an app, put it in there. But even then, you're got predetermined voices. So I can't clone a voice. Okay. And I can only get 14 to 24 seconds. So the big killer though is the voice cloning. So cool app. I would like to see this expand. Hopefully the people that made this will Canopy AI will expand it. Hey, Canopy AI, if you're watching this, hey, I mean, really great job. Obviously, you're big brain people, so you've done a good job. But let's expand this out. Give us our one-shot voice cloning, and maybe a web UI, and this will become something practical that we could all use. So, anyway, there you have it. We have walked through this. We did some troubleshooting. I cut some stuff out of here that was just, whew. You'll probably be glad that I did. We'll release the behind-the-scenes tape someday. And but you did walk through some stuff. We fixed some pip install stuff, which is great. That right there is worth your money. So so hopefully that will help you in the future. If you did find this helpful, feel free to hit that super thanks down there. Putting a couple bucks in my pocket always helps. And you get to join as a member too, which means you get a little thing next to your comments that say, hey, this guy or this gal is extra special. And then I see that and I go, oh, let me make sure I comment to them because they're part of the in crowd. I mean, I like y'all, but the people with those little things next to their names, man, I really want to respond to them faster. So thank you for doing that. You spend a couple bucks helping us all out. All right, any rate, you guys hang in there. We're going to do another video here soon about comparing 3 other text-to-speech models and which one's the best. We're going to get into it because that's what we do. All right. In the meanwhile, you stay good, and we will catch you on the other side, yo.